Well, Neil, it's always a delightful day to be at Meadow Lane, even when it's raining, but especially when it sounds like the playoffs are going to go ahead after a long few months of waiting. Just give us your reaction.
Obviously delighted. I've been kept in the loop from Jason regularly throughout it, and went from early on in the lockdown thinking that we would get to play the playoffs to having probably a 4 week period where I thought it was, the chances had gone and it was never going to happen. So to end up sort of further down the line, getting to this point has been great. It's a long time, but to have that opportunity, we can't ask for any more.
So the news came in last night. This morning you're at Meadow Lane. Just tell us what's going on here today.
Yesterday we was in here anyway, preparing. What we thought we would do is not without perceiving that we would get the result we wanted. We decided to try and set everything up so that if the result came through that was positive, we were ready and not chasing our tails. So yesterday we came in and set everything up ready for the players to be tested, and Jason Turner's worked incredibly hard on that behind the scenes and done a fantastic job. So we've got a real strong policy document in place now that looks after the safety of everybody, and now we've got to stick to that. So we did that yesterday, and then the news come through, which was what we wanted to hear. So today, we're all ready. The staff are being tested now. The players are due to arrive from 10:30 onwards to be tested, collect their kit, their boots, etc. And hopefully, with all going well and touch wood, no positive cases, we can all start training on Monday.
There are two types of tests, aren't there? There's one to find out if you've got the virus now, but there's also the antibody test as well. How reassuring will that be, fingers crossed, to get potentially some antibody results back as well, to know possibly who has had the virus?
Yeah, I mean, it's good for everybody. I think, I think up and down the country, everyone in society's been guessing, that illness they had, or that loss of smell, or the cough that they had. They've wondered whether it was, the amount of people said, I think I might have had it, and we will get to find out, which is great. And a lot of our players had a lot of symptoms throughout lockdown, so we believe there'll be a lot or a few that might have had it. The question's going to be, and this is a big thing because we've got such limited time to get ready for the playoffs, is fingers crossed that nobody's actually got it now or gets it in the next 4 weeks, and we're going to need a stroke of luck with it.
You've just had your test. We've all seen the video, I think, of Ian Poulter on Twitter, struggling with the one up the nose. Just talk us through it. How did you handle the situation?
I was a bit worried because the physios had been in before me and one of them was gagging, so it was okay. The one the down the back of the throat wasn't particularly nice, but it's needs must. You just got to tough it out for that few seconds.
And as you say, back to training on Monday. So are we expecting results sort of in the next 48 hours?
Yeah, I think it's going to be very, very good. Hopefully we'll get our results tomorrow. And on a weekly basis, when we test on Thursdays, we'll hopefully have a result by Friday morning, Friday afternoon. So, so we'll know who can and can't train. We're going to need that stroke of luck and obviously all the precautions we put in place to try and get through, this next 4 weeks and get to the time of match day and have a squad to choose from. So it's hard because the first week's got to be small groups, and it's got to be regulated. So there's only so much you can do fitness-wise in that first week. But obviously from week 2 onwards, we'll be able to ramp it up.
You've always said throughout this sort of lockdown coronavirus period that 4 weeks would be around about what you'd hope for in terms of preparation time. Do you still, now that's sort of upon you, do you still feel that that's going to be sufficient?
There's two elements to any fitness. If you look at it, when we have a summer, players have 6 weeks off. We have a 6-week pre-season. We build them up with probably 5, 6, 7 pre-season friendlies, and we still haven't got them A1 for the first game. But we limit injuries and we do it at a pace. Now all of a sudden they've had 12 weeks off and we've got 4 weeks with no pre-season friendlies. There's nobody possible around to play. We've looked into it, so we've got to try and get the edge on them, the match sharpness on them, without playing a friendly, and in 4 weeks. So if the players come back and they're out of shape, the chances of that happening are going to be very slim. And we've told them of that over the last 3 or 4 weeks. We've really tried to ramp up what they do, but I think we all know it's a lot easier to train when you've got the competitive edge of other people and people telling you what to do compared to being on your own.
Just give us an idea of what Monday will look like. You mentioned that the small group training. I believe it's going to be here at Meadow Lane, isn't it? Just talk us through sort of what you'll expect the lads to be doing, how you're going to handle that changeover of different groups, and generally how excited you and Coxie are to be back out there.
Yeah, it'd be great to be back out there and get on the training field. You're only allowed, the first week will be at Meadow Lane. We had our training pitches worked on throughout the summer, so they'll be ready next week. So the first week will be at Meadow Lane. You're only allowed 5 players per half pitch. So Coxie will have one group on one half, I'll have another group on the other. We'll do the same things with all the groups. It'll be pretty generic throughout the squad. And like I say, there's only so much you can do when it's non-contact. Players can't come within 2 metres of each other in that first week. So there'll be obviously leg work in running, but everything with the balls. And we've got to try and get that sharpness back in their legs, because I'm sure the players have gone for a lot of runs and I'm sure they've done a lot of work on their own. But the one thing they can't replicate is changing the direction quickly and all the stuff that goes with that. So that's the bit we've got to get into them in week 1. It's going to be very difficult because we can't go too easy on them and build it slowly. We haven't got time. And in the same vein, the more you push them, the more you risk an injury. So the balance is going to be difficult. And like I say, if we get to July the 18th, 20th, 22nd, whenever the playoffs are, and we've limited injuries and got them fit, we'll be very happy.
A number of players will be coming back in who were injured, around the time of the Ardley game, the last game that we played before the lockdown. What will be the process with them on Monday? Will they be in a sort of a separate group for assessments?
No, we believe that what we'll be doing in them first couple of days, all the players should be able to do, and it's been 3 months since them injuries, so we'd like to think, despite not having the treatment, their body would have healed. And a lot of them, the feedback, we stayed in constant touch with them through the physios. The feedback we're getting is that they're managing to do the work that's being set to them away from the place. So we'd be confident they would come back, but you never know until you get players on them balls in a competitive situation. So they may get through week 1 fine, with no contact, but week 2 might be a lot more difficult when we start going into game type situations.
Obviously mentioned we're training on the Meadow Lane playing surface in the first week back. Have you had a look at the pitch? You're happy with what's gone on? Because the ground staff I know have put in a huge amount of effort over the last few months. Yeah,
they've not only Meadow Lane, but the training ground, they've worked incredibly hard on that. We've had a lot of work done. The owners have been brilliant. They've seen this as an opportunity. We recommended that we try and get some stuff done during this period because the gap between any playoffs and next season might not be that great. We don't know. And the owners were brilliant and they've supported that. So we've got, we can't complain. We've got 2 really, really good surfaces now, and there'll be no excuses from the pitches front, and we thank the ground staff for their hard work during the lockdown.
So we're speaking here on Thursday morning. Just want to touch on a couple of things from a personal point of view. What happens between this morning and Monday morning for you now?
We've done most of our prep, so we're ready for today. We're ready for Monday. We're going to take the sessions on a daily basis. So, Monday after training, we'll review what we do Tuesday, because without knowing the condition of the players, without knowing how they found the first day, we can't really, have a preconceived idea in day 2. So we'll build it up steadily. But between now and then, let's get today done, make sure today runs smoothly. Make sure the players, like we've done, in the past, all know exactly what's expected of them, what time they're due, what group they're in on Monday. There'll be groups in at 9:30, 11:30 and 1:30. So for the staff, it's going to be long days. We've got to get ready for the first session, and we won't be finishing until probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So that's a normal day for most people, by the way. But that's just out on the training field. So it will be one after the other. So the first week will be tough for us. The players will come in and get going again. So we've got all that in hand. So it's a case of get through today, deep breath, and prepare for Monday.
When you left Wimbledon, you'd hoped for a bit of time off with the family. You might have had to wait a little bit longer, but you've had a few months back at home. You've got a new dog. Just talk us through what the last few months have meant from a positive point of view for you, and how you feel maybe coming out of that bubble and back into the crazy world of Notts County again?
Yeah, people always used to say to me at the end of a season, you get a bit of a break, and as a manager you never did. You had to release certain players, you had to do your recruitment for the following season, you tried to cram a holiday in between, and you never really had time to take stock. I wouldn't want it in the circumstances it's come, but the 12 weeks have been a real refresher. Although I've watched a lot of players and stayed in contact with the owners regularly, it has been a way just to unwind a little bit and spend a bit of quality time with the family, because I don't see them as much during the season. We've got, like say, a new puppy, which has kept us on our toes, and a family come dine with me competition that kept us all going.
Who won?
My youngest daughter won with her Italian night. I come second with my American night. But it was all very competitive, and it's just kept us going and kept the spirits up. So I'm delighted that I'm back here. Obviously, I wouldn't want to have been away in the circumstances we had.
Yeah, it was great to see you back at the Lane. Fingers crossed for a successful playoff campaign.
Thank you.